Hi and welcome. I'm Pallavi Sharma, Community Ambassador at Girls in Tech Twin Cities. And I'm honored to be here today with these very talented women. And I'm very excited to be interviewing them as part of the Minnesota Aspirations Award in Computing ceremony. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'll first start off with having you guys introduce yourselves. Kasturi Jog, she's the IT Data Integration Manager at Land O'Lakes. Kasturi, welcome.
Thank you.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, yeah. So I work at Land O'Lakes, been there for close to 6 years now. I'm a data integration manager, which means I lead a team of people, developers who extract, transform, and load data, basically play with data to make it flow between applications, make it available for data warehousing and such. On the home front, I am a mom to 2 kids, a 4-year-old and a 10-month-old, which keeps me pretty busy and exciting.
Very busy for sure. Thank you, Kasturi.
Thank you.
Arunima Bhattacharya, congratulations on being the state winner.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a bit about yourself?
I'm a junior at Egan High School, and my interest in technology started at a pretty young age, from almost the beginning of middle school. I've grown to love technology through my experiences with the robotics program and through a variety of other technology-based experiences, and it's really shaped my decision to pursue a technology and engineering career in the future.
Great, thanks, Arunima. Catherine, so you were the state winner last year.
Correct.
Great, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Catherine Myers. I am currently a freshman at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities College of Science and Engineering, studying computer engineering. I graduated last year from Wayzata High School in May of 2015. I interned for Logic PD as a software engineering intern summer of 2015. And I began my interest in technology when I was about 9 years old. And throughout middle school and high school, I kept my interest in technology. I applied for the Aspirations Award last year, ended up winning it, and that has really given me direction in my life in how I want to go with my career.
Very inspiring, thank you. Mona Path, you're the VP of Design and Engineering here at Logic PD. Could you tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. I am a resident of Minneapolis. I live there with my husband, Jerry, and we've been married for 28 years. We have 2 children and 1 grandchild who I'm very proud of. I was never imagined the variety of opportunities that would be available to me when I decided to pursue computer science as a career. I started out as a software programmer and learned a lot about product development and manufacturing as I progressed in my technical career, and that enabled me to then move into project management as well as engineering management roles, and then even spent several years leading a project management office before moving into organizational leadership and strategy. So I'm currently the VP of Design and Engineering at Logic PD, and in Logic PD provides product lifecycle management services to their clients, and my role has been one to lead the engineering services organization. I'm really excited about the next phase in my career. I'm moving into a new role of technical fellow, and in that role I'll be providing technology and product development advice to the Logic PD leadership and engineering teams as well as to our clients.
Thanks. Very inspiring, Mona. Yer Tao, you're also a state winner. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a bit about yourself?
I am a senior at Patrick Henry High School, and I currently work at Hennepin County Public Defender's Office as an IT assistant, and what I do there every day is load criminal files and also do desktop support from time to time. My family and I came to America when I was 7 years old, so I've actually been here for 10 years. And my interest on IT and computer science started when I was starting high school. So, yeah.
Thank you. All right, so should we jump into the questions? Sure. All right. So Catherine, tell me So you have been coding for since you said you're 9 years old?
Beginning when I was 9, yes.
How did you start that journey? And I mean, what sparked your interest?
I began coding, very basic coding, when I participated on a first Lego League team, which I began with my friends when I was 9 years old. And that was my first really experience with programming and coding. And from then in middle school and high school, I began taking more classes in coding and just really fell in love with it. Last year applied for the award, got it, and decided that's what I wanted to do with my life.
That's great. So did you come across any challenges while you were going through the different stages of getting better at it?
To be completely honest, coding is something that actually comes fairly easily to me. I know to some people it doesn't, but to me it does. However, the other part of getting an engineering degree, which is the classes in physics and calculus, do not come as easy to me. So one of the hurdles that I've really had to go through is going through some stuff that you don't really like to do and is hard for you to get to the stuff that you really enjoy and you really want to do.
Right. So you just have to just cross those tough pieces to get to the part that you really enjoy.
Correct.
Exactly. Arunima, the same question over to you. What were some of your challenges and how did you overcome them?
I think looking at coding in specific, there's always the chance of being incorrect or finding issues in your code, and that was something that was very unsettling for me. I'd been a very consistent, correct performer. I'd done very well academically, and I'd been a straight A student. And then I come to a coding class, and all of a sudden I'm faced with 5 problems lined up in my code, and having to face those issues and face the idea of not always being correct, but going through those problems anyway and logically trying to figure out how to logically solve those problems that you saw in your code was really something I thought was difficult at first, to accept the idea of imperfectness and work through your problems logically and learn how to do that.
And did you get any assistance through when you were coming across those hurdles? How?
Mm-hmm. It was, whether I asked for it or not, there were always people willing to help me, and it all just took one question. Like, if you just stood up and asked somebody, there were a line of 5 to 10 people just waiting to answer your question. People who knew what they were doing, people who were aware of how code worked. They were ready immediately to go through your code and try and solve your problem.
And there are no dumb questions.
Absolutely not.
All right. Kasturi, being in the workforce for quite some time now, what do you think are some of the challenges in terms of growing within an organization for women?
One of the challenges that I can think of is a common problem, not just for women, it's both for men and women, is your own mindset. You can be your worst enemy when you start second guessing yourself. Mm-hmm. So my advice to overcome that is just put yourself out there. Being as a woman, there are more forces pulling at us on the home front, on the work-life balance side. So it takes a little bit of extra effort to stay focused and be dedicated to where our passions lie and what would truly make us happy. So it can be a balancing act, but I would say stick on and be your own advocate.
Right, right. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. What do you see as some of the challenges for women within the organization?
It's a great question. What I've seen for myself and for other women is just the lack of confidence in actively pursuing your career objectives. And not only actively pursuing them, but also asking others for assistance and advice in how to achieve those objectives.
Right. So tell me a little bit about how do you approach someone, like you said, asking questions to people. How do you approach them? Sometimes you're in a situation where you don't know where to go. You're in a position where how do you take on this role and take it to the next level? What do you do in situations like that?
I think the most important thing is not to overthink it and
right.
to just ask.
Yeah.
Because if you just say to somebody, do you have a few minutes where I can sit down and talk with you about
yes.
my career, they will make time in their schedule, and you say, here's what my career objectives are. what advice do you have for me, and is there any way that you can think of that you can help me? I think if you just start out that way, you kind of take a deep breath and you say it, and good things happen from there.
Right, and asking for mentorship and that level of help within an organization. Do you just reach out to people within the organization who you think can be your mentor, or what is that process, and what has your experience been?
Well, you can try to create a formal mentoring relationship, but I think the best way to get what you want out of a mentoring relationship is advice.
Yeah.
So just go in and say, here's the advice I need, and how can you help me?
Right.
Rather than seeking, will you be my mentor, will you help me?
Yeah.
And it's it puts the onus then on the person that you're asking to be your mentor,
Right.
rather than keeping the responsibility yourself to ask for the help you need and the advice that you want.
Makes sense. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Thank you. Yeah, so you have a huge interest in the computer networking field. Tell me a little bit about what sparked your interest in that field.
I think what's interesting in that field is that it's so wide, and there's just so many things you can do with it. And it's always about thinking outside the box, thinking about how you're gonna secure your network, or how you're gonna create your network so that others can access your information. And I think that's just so creative that it sparks me into thinking that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
So do you have any recommendations for girls who are not sure about getting into the computer networking field and would like to get a little more help or information on how to get into the field?
I think that first you have to find yourself and what you really want to do. But the most important part is that this field is a field where you never stop learning, even after you graduate from college. And if that's something you want to do, if learning is something that you want to do for the rest of your life, then I recommend this career to you.
Okay, great. Thank you. So Catherine, could you tell us a bit about your college experience so far, and also about your internship here at Logic PD?
Sure. So my experience at Logic PD was amazing. I loved interning here. I got to work on a bunch of projects. I got to learn 2 new languages, C and C#, which was really interesting. And I also, one of the most important things that I learned is the importance of mentors and networking with people. I was able to form really great relationships with my mentor that was given to me, my manager, and with Mona too. I got a lot of great advice from them. Actually, some really great advice that Mona gave to me on one of my last days here was that if you want to do something, go out and ask to do it. If you want to be a manager, ask to work on management, ask to get there, because that's the only way you're going to get to where you want to go.
Right, makes sense.
And then my experience in college, I love going to the U of M. I love the classes I'm taking. I'm really excited about the future classes that I get to take next year. This year I took classes in C++, Java, Python, and data structures, and I've loved every single one of them. I may not like my calc and physics classes as much, but the classes that I do like, I really, really like.
Great. So, Catherine, do you have any advice to girls who are looking for internships and how to find a good internship?
Well, I got my internship through the Aspirations Award last year. That was how I ended up getting mine. I applied to 4, and Logic PD made me an offer and this was my #1 choice. Logic PD was, and I was really excited about that. I would say just be very comfortable and keep looking. Be comfortable in your interviews, be honest, and just look around and try to find one.
That's great advice. Thank you. Arunima, so can you tell me a little bit about your interest in biomedical field and how you connect that with your interest in computer science?
I think with respect to biomedical, I've always had a fascination for the human body as a machine. The human body works as no machine really has been able to replicate. There are so many functions, there are so many processes that happen in a matter of mere seconds that we don't even think about as we perform them, but it's constantly happening involuntarily within your body. And I've had an extreme fascination for those processes that happen in our body. And trying to combine those fascinations for my interest in technology, there are a variety of different medical devices that try and replicate those processes that happen in our body, being able to combine technology and engineering and your understanding of the human body to extend human life and try and make human life more sustained, more, I guess, available through the application of these devices, and really trying to bring a better life for people who need it.
Great. So which direction do you want to take this? What is your next step to get into this field?
My next step is probably going to be a biomedical engineering major in college. It'll probably guide me into both a strong engineering and technological background as well as an understanding of the biology of the human body.
Great. Thanks, Arunima. All right. So Mona, having been in the workforce for quite some time now, what excites you the most about the technology opportunities today?
Well, the technology opportunities that interest me the most is just seeing the realization of the Internet of Things.
Yeah.
And there's a growing number of connected devices available, as well as sensors, and sensor technology is continuing to advance at a rapid pace, and it's creating a remarkable capability of being able to monitor, control, and understand ourselves and the world around us so much better. And it's just a fascinating, energizing field. And when you apply to IT, especially with the Aspirations in Computing Awards, all of these connected devices are transmitting data, and much of that data needs to be transmitted securely, and it needs to be stored securely. It needs to be analyzed and then turned into meaningful information that's then shared in real time so that action can be taken. And so it's a burgeoning opportunity for people who are interested in the IT field as well.
It's very exciting.
Yes.
Kasturi, I'll turn the same question over to you. What are your thoughts on that?
I have very similar thoughts to her. There's data everywhere, and that with the more technological devices that come out, then different coding algorithms may differ, the different ways of writing a code may differ, but all this data out there needs to be harnessed. It needs to be harnessed such that it can provide business value. And connecting the dots from a business need perspective to all this data that's untapped opens up a huge range of possibilities that excites me.
Right, great, thank you. So who has been the biggest influence in your life?
I think the biggest influence in my life is my mom, because she is the only person that I have growing up. She was my only family member, and she told me that body full of strength is not as powerful as a mind full of ideas. And that's what inspired me to go in a field that will make me continuously learn about new things. And computer networking is the perfect field for that.
That's very inspiring. Thank you. Arunima, I'll turn the same question over to you. Who has been your biggest influence?
I think of all the various people that have had a huge impact on my technological experiences. One of the biggest people who have influenced my decision to pursue a career in technology or technology-based career would be my 4th grade teacher, actually. She was the person who first introduced me to robotics, and she was the person who first introduced me to the wide variety of possibilities that exist within technology or even just STEM careers, guiding me through my first year in robotics and my second year, and then just pushing me to continue to pursue a variety of different technological experiences. She was a constant source of encouragement, of support. She always came with a smile on her face, and she always encouraged us to think outside of our limits, to push our limits and really reach out to our full potential.
That's great. It's amazing how teachers can have such a huge impact in your life.
Absolutely.
Right. Great, thank you. So Catherine, having gone through the awards and being a winner yourself from last year, what's your advice to somebody who's unsure about applying to the Aspirations Award but totally deserve to?
I would say 110% go for it. I cannot tell you how much the Aspirations Award has shaped my life. It has brought me to understand what I really want to study and what I really want to do. And I think one of the most important things you can learn in your life is that you have to showcase your work. And I think as women, sometimes we're a little bit shy and a little bit weary of showcasing what we have done, but it is so important to learn how to do that.
Great. And tell me a little bit about how schools and teachers can have an impact on that, help women get over that initial hurdle of not being very sure about themselves.
Well, my software engineering teacher and computer science teacher, Tika Kuti, last year convinced me to apply for this award. And the one thing that she told me that definitely pushed me to apply is, what are you losing if you apply? It can only have a good impact on your life. If you win, that's great and you'll get a lot from it. If you don't win, then you have lost nothing.
Yes, exactly. Great, thank you. So, Arunima, what is the best career exploration advice you've received?
I think with regards to looking into career possibilities, some of the best advice I've received is to never stop exploring. There are so many possibilities. Even if you look just within technology, there's a wide variety of possibilities that you could really look into. And you should never stop yourselves based on what other people say, based on what society may say is right. Don't let other people's perceptions stop your own perception of what you can do, and just explore all your possibilities, because every possibility is a possibility for you.
Very true. Thank you. Yair, I'll turn over the same question to you. What's the best career exploration advice you've received?
The best career exploration advice that I received is to find yourself. No one speaks better for you than you speak for you. And I find that that's really true in society, because when you find who you are, when you're happy with what you're doing, then you won't have any regret in your life. And I just want to say that whatever you do, just make sure that you are proud of who you are and you are proud of yourself and your ambitions and your achievements. And that's the best thing that you can do and the best way that you can find what you love to do in your career is.
So, Kasturi, what advice do you have for our winners here?
Well, one thing is for sure, they're full of a lot of wisdom. And the main thing is to keep that always in mind, all the good things that you've heard here or all the potential that you have, keep that in mind always, even when the times are tough. Remember that your passion makes you happy, and that would take you to the next level. It's okay to try and fail. It's okay, it's in fact better to fail faster and so that you can get back up there. So that's my only advice. But keep your thought leadership going.
Yes, for sure. Mona, do you have any words of advice for our winners?
Well, I think that the winners are amazing women to have gained this recognition already with the Aspirations in Computing Awards. They have accomplished so much in such a short amount of time and have the world in front of them from both a career perspective and an academic perspective. If I were to give one bit of advice to them, it would be to begin to build their network of career advisors. And it's not too early to start doing that now, and to really look for people that they're meeting who are professionals, and ask them if they can connect with them for future networking opportunities. And when the person says yes, believe them and take them up on it, and take advantage of the opportunity afforded you. Very,
very true. Thank you, Mona. And thank you everyone for being here today. This has truly been a very inspiring session, and I have learned a lot from each and every one of you, so thank you. And thank you to Logic PD for providing us the space today to shoot this video, and thank you all for watching the video.